Good evening. Good evening to the team that gets it clean. And here we are again on The View from My Window Thursday Thoughts with Sharon, Greene, Golden. How are you all doing? It's good to be with you again. I want to first say today, Thursday, Happy Nurses Week to all the nurse heroes. We appreciate you from the RNs, the LPNs, the CNAs, the MAs, the psych techs, everybody. You are appreciated because what you do matters and each one needs one. We all need each other to make this work for our patients. So, hello, everybody. Today we're going to, I had this thought early in the week. I can't even remember why I have the thought, but I was sitting down somewhere and I thought about what can I talk about this Thursday, and it popped into my head to the team that gets it clean. Now understand this is about everything sterile processing. So if I talk about something and you remember that one day your great grandmama did it, we're not talking about your great grandmama. You can put it in there, but this is about sterile processing. So surgical attire, rules and regulations, standards, best practice, uh, best practice, and st- the standards that we use for our attire. So, do we have rules and regulations for attire and sterile processing? Some of you all are going to say, yes, Sharon, we do. We wear scrubs every day. Well, before we get to the scrubs, we have to get to the job. And I wanted to talk about the fact that what you wear matters. The booty shorts, you can't wear that to your job, even though you're going to change clothes. You have to understand that you are a professional and how you present yourself is most important. So, do we have some best practice rules that regulate what we wear? Yes, we do. And the one thing the rules say for us is that everything we wear must be clean. You hear that word clean? That's the mantra for sterile processing, clean. So what you wear must be clean. And I thought about surgical attire because I've seen people in different outfits. I've seen people in, it's wintertime, your department, for whatever reason, your machines have not started working yet, and your area is cold, and we can pull some of you out of the autoclave so that you can come into the actual department and start working. You have on your scrubs, and within your scrubs, you have on a long t-shirt. Are you able to wear a long t-shirt under your scrubs? Is this part of your uniform? And really, it isn't. Uh, should you be able to wear your clothes, you got to run out to get your lunch. And so you won't be gone long. I'm just going to get my lunch, Miss Golden. Do you have to change out of your scrubs? And why? What we have to understand is that we deal with patient care, and our patients are coming in to have surgeries, and they do not need to have any worries about an HAI or an SSI. But if your clothes are not clean, if you do not follow the best practice standards for what we're wearing, you can bring those microbes in and affect the patient. So we don't want to do that. So I thought first I'd talk about something that is common. Can you wear your scrubs and go get your lunch? No, you cannot. Miss Golden, we do it all the time. We put on a cover jacket and we run on out. You're wrong. You should change into what we call our street clothes. Anytime you're leaving the campus of the hospital, you should change back into your street clothes. That's it in a nutshell. You cannot be over at the grocery store in your scrubs. You shouldn't be over there in the scrubs and then come back to work and bring the microbes from the grocery store back into the hospital, back into the surgical suite, back into your sterile processing department, and call yourself a patient advocate taking care of patients. And I was thinking about that because I find people leaving and they have on their scrubs, and I'm like, you got your scrubs on? And the team that gets it clean, we sometimes have an aversion to people telling us what to do that's right. And we really shouldn't. We are the patient advocate, and we should want to do it right. You want it right when it's your surgery. You want it right when it's your mama's surgery. You want things right when it's your child's surgery. And if you knew that we were going to get our lunch at the grocery store with our scrubs on, you would be the first one to write a big long letter to the hospital, and some of us would even want some money. So why do you do it to other people? It is very important. Somebody asked a question, what about the cafeteria? It is still in the hospital. It is. And it all deals with the policies that have been written for your hospital as to what you will do to go to the cafeteria and come back to your department. We have to wear an outer jacket that is snapped up, closed. And I'm going to tell you an importance about jackets and changing jackets. A few years back, we had the OR call us. I'm very transparent about things. They called us and they said, Miss Golden, you need to come to the room because we just opened up a tray and there's a piece of corn, corn, a piece of corn on our wrapper. Now you all know I was like, no, corn. And they're like, yes, corn. CORN is on our wrapper. We need to redo the tray. We didn't put it on the sterile field, so we need to get this tray redone. And I'm like, you all took pictures. They got pictures. They like pictures. We got the wrapper and the corn. So I had never thought about corn in an autoclave. And so I was thinking if corn was in the autoclave, we should have had popcorn, right? I was just thinking. So they brought it over. We looked at it. So now we have to do the investigation about how on earth do you get corn on a wrapper? This was a total joint tray, a loaner tray. How does this happen? It's under the bottom of the tray. So we went to the cafeteria, we got some fresh corn. We came back, we put ourselves out, we washed that tray, we dried it, we put ourselves out some new wrappers. We called the OR ortho team over because we wanted them to witness the process. And we put a piece of corn under the bottom of the tray, we wrapped it and we processed it. And what we wanted to see is what did the corn look like after it came out of the sterilizer at 4 minutes, 270 degrees. And what I had not thought about is that, remember, our autoclaves that we're using most of the time in the US are pulling a vacuum. If you pull a vacuum, you pull all of the fluids out. So when we got the tray out, the OR was back because they were our chain of custody witnesses. They opened the tray. When they opened the tray and we got all our cameras out, we're ready to start taking pictures. The piece of corn was under the tray and it had been the vacuum had pulled the fluid out of the corn and it looked just like the piece of corn that they had in the room. So then we had to think, how do we stand at our wrapping table and get corn on the table? And I thought about it. The light bulb came off. People go to the cafeteria, they eat their lunch, they have their jackets on, they don't take their jackets off. So someone had had corn for lunch. They came back in, piece of corn was stuck somewhere, they didn't even know it. They washed their hands, they got themselves ready, they started wrapping trays, and at some point that piece of corn fell on their wrapper and they never noticed it because we are one track minded when we're getting ready to do a tray. They were busy probably looking at the tray, putting it onto the wrapper, and never looked at the wrapper again. I say that to say we changed our process and policy that day, that you have to take your jacket off that you're wearing in the sterile processing and put on an outer jacket to go to the cafeteria and to eat. because we can ill afford to have corn in trays. The doctor wanted to know why it wasn't peas because he prefers peas to corn. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, for our patients, we have to be careful about every single thing that we do. So it's according to policies. People, remember, policies guide you as to what goes on at your hospital. But even so, you cannot wear your scrubs to the grocery store. You just cannot do that. So it's very important. Do we have to we talk about attire, and when I talk about attire, I talk about everything. There's a question up here. It says, is it okay to take my clothes, the scrubs, home and wash them if I'm allergic to the hospital's laundry? The best practice, the evidence-based practice from AORN all say no. Why? First of all, your clothes have been in a bacteria virus borne area all day long. You got viruses and bacteria. You know, bacteria grows exponentially. You got all this bacteria just jumping and hopping all over your scrubs. Yes, you put it in a little plastic bag and take it home to your family to put it in your household washing machine to wash it in the special detergent that you have. But what you do not have is the right temperature to necessarily kill that bacteria and to get you to the point where you have some thermal, THERMAL. That's enough heat to kill those bacteria spores. You just don't actually have that, you know. So no, you should not. Now think about this. You took these nasty bacteria-borne clothes home to your family's washing machine. You washed it in the washing machine with your little soap that you like at your house. So now that bacteria and the biofilm is in your washing machine. And then you wash your other clothes in the washing machine. And then your family members start having issues. Some of them get colds, some of them get rashes. You don't understand why. It's because you're processing the clothes at home. Well, I had a young lady tell me one time, she said, Miss Golden, I don't take those clothes to my house to my washing machine. I would never do that to my family. She said, I actually take them to the laundromat. I said, so you take it to the community. You put those viruses and the bacteria in the community washing machine? Really? Do you think that's right? What you have to do if you are allergic is we should work. It is the hospital's responsibility to help work through what we can do to get you the scrubs that you need that can be washed so that you can wear them. But you should not take them home. I don't want to take the little nasty clothes home in my car personally. Never have, never will. I don't want to. I want to leave the little nasty clothes at the hospital. There's a reason why the OSHA standards say that the hospital has to have scrubs for you to put on. That wasn't just something hospitals did because they were helping. They have to provide you with your scrubs and with your PPE. They have to do that. I have somebody here, Mr. Sams, who's in reality, it's funny, but he says, so what do? We maybe we should process naked. I'm sure if they thought we could, they would do that for us. But then we wouldn't be able to process. We'd be all in shock. Some of us would be depressed if we saw each other naked. So that's not going to work. So we have to do the other side. We have to wear the scrubs that are provided by the hospital. Please do not take them home to your house. Put them in your washing machine. You have that biofilm in your washer. Miss Golden, I don't have biofilm in my washer. If you have those front loaders, and you're not using the special cleaner every so many months to clean it, you can smell it. Yes, you do have biofilm in your washing machine. If you don't keep it cleaned out, bacteria is growing in the washing machine. It just doesn't harm you. We're at 8:15 and we're going to do a commercial. We'll be right back. Surgical attire and sterile processing. That's what we're talking about today. Okay, back from commercial to the team that gets it clean. I have a question here that says, have you ever had to counsel someone because they are re-wearing scrubs day in and day out? They say every facility doesn't provide scrubs. Now, come on, you're in the sterile processing department where your main job is to clean, clean, and process. And you're going to wear the same scrubs every day in and day out. That's just nasty. So, if you have a hospital that is not providing scrubs, you need to go ahead and log a complaint with OSHA before you keep wearing the nasty scrubs day in and day out. You should go to your corporate compliance 1-800 number and lodge a complaint that your hospital is not able to give you scrubs to wear every day. Just like, and I say this kind of freely, um, it's not the norm that a hospital does not provide scrubs. That's an outlier because that is one of the recommendations. That's best practice. Scrubs, PPE are to be given to you by your hospital when you work in certain areas. They don't provide scrubs to your nurses, your CNAs, different technicians that work outside of surgery. Sometimes the surgery, SPD, L&D, they give them scrubs. CVIR, certain areas get scrubs given to them to wear because of the nature of what we're doing and where we work. So if you're at a hospital that is an outlier and they're saying, here's some scrubs and you get one pair of scrubs for the week, then there is a problem and you need to report that because how can you be cleaning in nasty clothes? I mean, I'm just concerned and put in the notes where are you so I'll know where not to go. In the ANSI Amy recommended practice, ANSI Amy ST79 2017 4.4 talks about attire. I don't want to read it to you from the book. Pull your ANSI Amy ST79 2017 4.4 and read it for yourself about the rules and the best practice. AORN has done evidence based studies that say you must put on clean clothes every day. You must be clean when you come into the surgical suite. You bring microbes with you every time you come in. So, if your hospital does not provide scrubs, that's the overall thing. I would first go to my director and ask a few questions. Did you realize sometimes they don't know that we're not getting scrubs? And I have to wear my scrubs every other day. I'm concerned with every other day. What do you do on the off day? Are you off or I don't know. But anyway, you need to complain because they need to give you scrubs. Back to that question. Have you ever had to counsel someone because um, um, they are wearing scrubs day in, day out? Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like putting on the same little nasty clothes every day. Now, my outerwear that I actually come into the hospital with, I might wear it the next day because all I did was get up, take a shower, put on some clothes, drove to work, came in to the hospital, took those clothes off, put on clean scrubs, worked all day, took those scrubs off, threw them in a hamper, and actually put my clothes back on, got in the car, drove home, and took a shower. And so those clothes I could wear another day. But clothes that you're sweating in, SPDs, if you're in decontamination, you can't take and wear those clothes another day. You really cannot. Um, Somebody says, actually, you get your scrubs in a plastic covering. They don't have lint holes. So I guess this person is getting some terrible scrubs. Now, I think that hospitals that have finally, because scrubs are a big commodity, people like scrubs. They like to wear them home. They like to wear them in the grocery store and impact other people. You like to come out of decon working all day with your nasty scrubs on, bacteria laden, and go to the grocery store and rub up against other people. That's before COVID, but we seem to be getting back to after COVID. So the bottom line is you need to take those scrubs off and leave them. And I will say that, uh, if you're getting scrubs and you worked in decon all day and you don't have any other scrubs, I would stop by the director's office with my scrubs in a bag and ask the question, what do you want me to do tomorrow? Because I wore these in decon all day and I don't want to put them on to wear them again tomorrow. There was a question that was asked about personal hygiene and sterile processing. To the team that gets it clean, you cannot have clean clothes until you have a clean body. So, yes, we have to take baths, people. Showers, baths, wash your body. This first, wash your body. Yes, I had one time I had a young lady, nobody wanted to work with the person because the person had a terrible odor. And I talked to Sharon Combs, and she had someone she worked with that they just had an odor, and people finally complained. They're like, I'm not going to work with that person anymore. I cannot take stench. Well, as the manager, you have to talk to that person. And it is a hard conversation because people are very sensitive about those type of things. I don't want you coming to talk about me about my bathing habits. But if you get your ST-79, you take that into the office. You should do this. You should be very, very um, careful where you have that conversation. It should be just you and that person. You should not have told everybody else in the department, I'm going to go talk to that person. It's just you and them, and you bring them in and you let them know. First of all, we work in sterile processing. We are part of the team that gets it clean. And we can ill afford to be in here dirty. Now, what I found is that some cultures, some ethnicities, some people only take a bath once a week. That's how they were raised. They take a bath on Saturday. So you're talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But what you have to tell the people is that at this job, you must take a bath and you must put on clean clothes. Now, what I found with my one person was that they were taking a bath, but they weren't washing their clothes on any regularity. So your clothes get an odor. If you give, you sweat, your clothes carry an odor. And if you never wash them, that odor just packs on. And eventually no one can stand you. But you have to take a bath. You must be clean. You cannot clean things until you have cleaned yourself. So it is most important. The other reason, besides us being worried about our fingernails falling into the trays we're working on, is that you ought to have clean hands. Your fingernail bed should be clean. I don't want anybody putting a tray together for me and their fingernails are black. That shows me you're not washing your hands. You can't wash your hands and have black fingernail beds. And you should not have long fingernails because they could break off and fall into a tray. In hospitals, routinely, thank you, Sarah, you should not even be wearing no perfume. You're not out on the floor selling perfume. You're not out visiting people. People are sensitive to smells. Patients are sensitive to smells. Smells can make you sick. And I know that some people think that clean means take a shower and put on the bottle of perfume. No, no. In fact, take a shower and don't put on any perfume because your perfume could offend somebody. And a patient just riding by on a stretcher could all of a sudden get a whiff of what you think smells good. And now they're sick, they're nauseated, thanks to you and your cologne or your perfume. So you really shouldn't. If you just gather, if you say, Miss Golden, I got to put on a little something, put on very, very, very little bit so that you can't smell it. Someone asked the question, have you considered scrubs in the dental office? Dental office is a little bit different, and they're not technically regulated. They do their own thing, but I would think that even in a dental office where they're They're getting better with the spray of the water, and when they're drilling all this stuff coming out of your mouth onto their clothes and your little towel they got on the front of you. Um, but there's always the ability to transfer microbes from one person to the other. So I would hope that the dental office people are cleaning their scrubs. Now, I can only speak for what I know in transparency. And my dentist, they changed their scrubs and they're sterilizing their instruments correctly because I'm their patient. And the dentist told me I come in and wreak havoc in the dentist. So he has a special time that I can even come in because I come in saying, let me see those instruments. Did y'all clean them? Did you sterilize them correctly? Y'all are nasty. And so they really don't want me to talk about their scrubs. I do have some friends who are dental technicians, and for the most part that I know, they do change their scrubs daily. They have all kind of scrubs going on. So they have their scrubs and they do change them. So colognes and perfumes, no. In the OR, there some of the best practice rules are different. If they're at the field, their arms have to be completely covered. We cover our arms in SPD because we don't want the hairs and the sloughing of the skin off of us to fall into any trays. That is why you wear a jacket on the clean side in SPD when you're processing, putting trays together. So that's very important that we do that. Um, Surgical attire, we are governed to wear what we're supposed to wear correctly. Always we should do what we're supposed to do. Someone, oh, wait a minute, the question is, someone last week my hygienist dropped the polish. Oh, the polish got in your eye. Well, you're right. So you don't know where that went. You're right. I have often said that dentist office need to be under standards like everybody else. And if you know and you do some research where they got the first documented case of HIV, and you'll find it was in a dentist's office down in Florida. So my dentist is very sure to let me see him washing his hands. His hygienist is washing her hands. They wash their hands. They put a mask on. They have gloves on. They're doing it the right way. But I do know that there are some dentist offices that aren't doing it the right way. But to talk about the dentist, there's some of us in sterile processing that are wearing our clothes home, going to the grocery store, stopping to put gas in the car and putting them in a little bag and bringing them back tomorrow. So you transport think about it. You transport those microbes and bacteria in your car where you ride your family members, your baby girl, your baby son, your wife, Nene them. Do you think that that's the right thing to do? So that's how I look at it. I talk to vendors all the time and they pick up trays. I say, ooh, question, if you're going out to smoke, you should be changing your scrubs. Sarah, you're absolutely right, but I'm at a hospital system where you cannot smoke. We don't smoke. You can't work there if you smoke. If you're a smoker and they can't help you to stop, you cannot work there. We do not smoke. So those days of smoking and coming back in with the smoke all over your clothes and running in here and standing next to me that's kind of out. But if you are at an institution that allows you to go down to the corner, smoke and come back, then you should be changing your scrubs. Every time you leave with the scrub on to the corner, you should come back in and change. You've been all the way outside. When people wear strong scents in the hospital or while at work, it's always it is always a challenging episode, Lorraine. But the bottom line is we shouldn't be wearing them. Now, if the patient's family member come in with some cologne, that's one thing. But you should not. You have to put your cologne on after 5 or after 3:30 or after 4, whenever your shift is over. Then you can put on some cologne on your way to your car, or get to your car and then spray your little cologne on because you're going to go see Mary them and you want to smell good. Personally, after I work a day in SPD, I need to go home and take a shower. Wow, no, yes, no smoking. We are a non-smoking institution down to the workers cannot smoke. And they shouldn't be. Smoking is hazardous to your health. So no smoking. To scent or not to scent, that's from Luane. You're right. Do not scent, Luane. Do not. Much as you want to. Hold off. Hold off. Hold off till you get home. Take a shower, then spray it down. For your family members, use that good cologne on your people that you love. Don't use it on me. In fact, when you think about colognes, and this is just a sidebar, um, you may think it smells good, but colognes react differently with different people. Different colognes work with your body chemistry, and you think it smells good, and it's stinky. We all about to pass out over here. And I don't care if you spend $200 for it. That's not the point. It reacts with your body chemistry, and all colognes are not for all people. And you can't wear the same cologne for 55 years because as your body chemistry changes, so does that cologne with your body. So I say at the hospital, in the sterile processing, in the surgical suite, let's just try not to wear our cologne. Let's let that go. Let's take baths. Let's put on clean clothes. Let's leave the scrubs at the hospital. If you don't have scrubs, try to talk to your boss about why you aren't getting scrubs. Go pull out the ST79. Every time it gives you a best practice, it gives you the rationale. It gives you the rationale for why not. It tells you why you can't wear fingernails, ladies. It tells you why you shouldn't even have on all that jewelry that some of y'all got on. 15 rings and you shouldn't have all of that on. Now, the hard way to learn about the rings is when your diamond is missing in your ring and you don't know where it is. I will tell you that if it is ever in a tray in an OR and they find it, they will never tell you. Leave your rings in your locker or leave them in your car. The scent of a technician. Thanks, Sarah. Listen, this time has gone by really fast today. It is 8:34. So I'm going to actually sign off for today. To the team that gets it clean, to all of you who are mothers, who have mothers, please remember to recognize your mothers this weekend. I know it's a man-made holiday type thing, but it's because we don't do it on a regular basis. Some of us, not everybody. But I just want to tell you, recognize and love on your mama, your baby mama, your cousin mama, everybody. Because I just want to tell you, this is my first Mother's Day without my mother, and I wish she was here so that I could love on her. So see, once they're gone, you can't love on them no more. I don't care how many picnics you have at the cemetery, it will never be with your mama. So take this time to love on them. Tell people that you love them. Tell everybody, and everybody that's a mother, have a great Mother's Day. To the team that gets it clean, let's work on doing it right every time because what we do matters, and we work for the patient. This is Sharon Greene Golden. I'm signing off this Thursday night from the view from my window, my Thursday night thought. You all take it easy. Bye.